Okay, so let's go with part 2, right? So we're actually going to go into the equipment. Probably one of the, mind the back door noise, I have no idea what my daughter's doing, she's washing out the bathtub. One of the really biggest scourges we have in the paranormal community is evidence wrongly used, right? And one of the tools that gets overused, frankly, isn't, used properly. Probably not even by us, frankly, but I suppose there's a way to use it as much as you possibly can properly, is an EMF detector. So we've got a bunch of them throughout our team, right? And I'm sure everybody else has this thing. And unfortunately, what I have seen is a lot of cases that are declared haunted because the EMF spikes. Okay, so EMF, electromagnetic frequency, really is a culmination of an electrical field, right? I mean, like if you have a room full of wires all over the places and databases and yada yada, you could be subjected to EMF frequencies. This can affect the synapses in your brain to possibly misfire. I'm not a doctor. But that's theory, and we have to work with theory, right? And we have to be able to have something that we can go to somebody and say, this could be an issue. It could, over time, be an issue, right? Exposure. It's more along the lines of asking more questions. I ask my team to use the EMF meter for base reads to make that solid foundation. So when we have spikes in an area where we didn't have it before, we look why we have spikes. Simpler K2, which is a scourge in our society, is kind of like a barometer. It's kind of like feeling something touch your face, right? There's no proof that it's there, but damn, I'm going to turn around and ask a question. And we'll see what we can get to react. This is based on that. Anybody who bases a case on EMF is silly. I've seen cases in museums where they've done so. We went ahead and checked with our meters, and surely enough, there was like a fire suppression system. The solenoid for that was giving off a certain amount. And I remember they said that a car was haunted. The girl had died in the car. It was actually the plate from a girl that had died in the car. The plate on the car was that. No basis for it. But regardless, they had gotten K2 hits around that car. So therefore, the spirit's here. So the medium was saying, and they'd proven the whole case based on that. And if you put the K2 to the floor, sure enough, you were red hitting it, right? And go downstairs, like a foot below it, you had a fire suppression system solenoid, which was red hitting it. So, debunk, right? And that's something that's important to debunk. And even our last case, it was an EMF nightmare. So I'm going to bring up a couple of our EMF detectors. I really hope that the video shows it. Well enough. Maybe I'll turn off that light. I will, So, this is just candid, okay? The 3 EMF detectors that we have here are, our friendly K2, our EDI plus. It's kind of been a bit of a pain in the ass, that thing, to be honest with you. And Trifield TR2 digital. I'm a pretty big fan of the Trifields myself because, to be fair, it's more for the professional to measure. The K2 has a range of about 40 to 60 hertz. They get some low range, but I mean things like cell phones will set that off. The simple stuff, it's almost like using a Ouija board, right, for EMF. The simple stuff will set it off. And I'm going to keep talking while I shut the drapes and turn the light back on. So maybe I can get a visual on some of this stuff. Wow, I had a terrible idea doing it in this room, huh? So, yeah, with the 3 of them, the EDI is a bit of a pain, only because if your wiring is bad in there, it eats batteries, it corrodes them. And again, something else that's not very good, it's not hard to misread. Good about it though, of course, is that you can data log with it, right? Humidity and pressure. But if you don't know what you're using humidity and pressure and temperature for as far as that case goes, then the data loggers are kind of useless. you know, I remember investigating with a team that used data loggers, and I openly said to them, I wouldn't know myself what to do with that kind of information, so it's pointless for me. But the EDI was everything in one package. So I'm going to turn them all on. As you can see, you get the little red lights, and with the Trifield, this one's digital, okay? And I'll bring the camera closer to them. And the EDI, and I'm going to change that because we're in Canada here, and therefore I want my regular temperature. So I can tell you, with these units here, this runs at 40 to about, I think I was reading about 100, so 10,000 megahertz, so a much wider scale on that. Keeps a nice base, the Trifield, and we use this for base reads, okay? That there is, the EDI is really only useful if it's remaining static. So this is something where you might have a monitoring camera staring at it, right? And you could have it somewhere. It's got the vibration meter on it right there, so you can see if something hits it. If a temperature goes up or down. It actually, the EMF sensor on it isn't as sensitive as I thought it would be. You could see with the Trifield, everything is remaining fairly constant. And right now, the K2 is basically just a solid green until we do something like... So what I'm doing right now is I'm turning on one of our radios. And as you see, as I signal this off, how the EDI, or the Trifield will take a jump. It will, but it'll go back to base, and the K2 will hit reds. And this is kind of dangerous because that's really what ends up happening, of course, is that a lot of people lose their shit. They oh, look what's happening, the spirit is with us. That gets scary. Now we'll take that along, and if we're sitting in the middle of a room, we're getting red hits on a kind of a request basis. It's certainly kind of like an opportunity to say, hey, let's ask some more questions, right? That's it. It's a barometer. That's it. Too many teams out there right now get a lot of guff because, oh, they see a K2, anybody in the science realm loses their mind. Why use it? Well, because it's like putting a thermometer in the room, right? Nobody has any proof yet that that EMF has anything to do with haunting. So that's one of the first things we need to really kind of take a good stark look at, is that. Trifield is, you know, something where you want to go take a base read, and if, say, you're on, see, like the K2 right now is bubbling up with its second, you know, so its second light, and I'm not doing anything. So obviously something in the room is causing that. Now, the Trifield is also kind of going up and down a little bit. Basis about, you know, 0.1 milligauss up and down. I know that the base read in this room is about 1.5, so there's nothing to be shocked at. If all of a sudden my Trifield went to like a 60, then, you know, 60 milligauss, and maybe I'd be like, oh shit, man, I'll need to look at something a little more seriously, especially if both of them are peaking off. The K2 is just an opportunity, right? But again, like, this is designed for a higher frequency, so it's going to, you know, kind of detect more of that stuff. We'll call it, the K2 is like the Ouija board, the simple conversation with spirit piece, because it gets sent off. Unfortunately, a lot of investigators use the K2 because it is it's kind of like instant satisfaction, right? We can all get it, and it's like orb pictures, right? See, like while I'm talking, I'm going to see if I can get my wife to send me a text and see if that'll send it through. My phone is not in airplane mode right now. So let's see if anything happens. So I'm going to put that there. See if she actually texts me back. My wife isn't necessarily the greatest at doing that. So, you know, the EDI, again, what a lot of people tend to do is they walk around with it. It's kind of like using the Kinects. When they walk around with the, I don't think the Kinects works, like it's a bag of shit anyway, but if people walk around with it, all you're doing is that sensor eye is flying all over the place. Well, the EDI is designed to be a sentinel thing. Like most data logging devices, it's not a movement thing, it's a sentinel thing. Set it there, see what happens. As you can see, this room is 24.2 degrees. You know, I can make that happen by moving my feet around. Temperature's not going up or down too much, humidity's not going up or down too much. It seems like a pretty stable room. We actually have had EMF hits happen in a place with no wiring on a pulsating basis, but that it was an interesting case. Couldn't call it just on that alone. See, now my wife is going to make me a liar. Mm-hmm. Oh. So, what I'm going to try then first here is just to yell down there. Destiny, give me a 2-second text, just I'm doing a test on my phone. Just texting. Okay, so my daughter is in the next room, as you can see. Oh. All right. Didn't get much of a reaction. Not too much, but you know, we'll try that again. So we're doing live experiments here. This is kind of like doing this on TV. Put this in there. Again, please. I'm going to put that next to the K2. Like nothing else happened. As you can see, the EMF is actually going down. All right, so good. All right, maybe my phone is just better than other phones. But things can set things off, and things are designed. One of the other things you got to consider, though, with these units is this is a single axis meter. Okay, so basically with this K2, I'm just basically getting this. I'm standing in front of it. That's that, right? Whereas the Trifield, you know, is you've got axis X, Y, and Z, so you're going to get a roundabout, right, at a further range as well. It's just, I mean, obviously one's $50, one's $300, right? So unfortunately, the investment is when you're looking at instrumentation, that happens. But I'm going to make another test. Don't judge me because my fan is a little dirty, okay? But we're going to put it in front of the fan. I want to do a little experiment here and see what happens. All right, so we're going to put that there. We'll put that there. We'll put that there. All right, so as you can see, the K2 is going up and down. The Trifield is also going up and down, and on the EDI, we have a mark, right? So it's a consistent, non-pulsatronic spike, and you can see that with the two of them. Right now, some this kind of electricity or whatever would probably have some people losing their kitties, and it's something as simple as this can set it off. All right, I move this around. All right, and it's going as far as what's saying is 20 milligauss on this, almost 20 milligauss. It depends. Like you could shift this thing around. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. And this is all just around, the bearings on the fan. I don't know if I'll turn it up maybe. If you turn it up, see, now all of a sudden you're getting reds, right? 7.4, but everything seems to be very consistent with the two higher ended units. So, as you can see, and then by turning that off, all of a sudden everything goes down, right? So it's kind of incredibly important to realize that mitigating factors affect everything. So that's why these kind of meters are sort of used for barometer and baseline, not evidence. Do not use a K2 for evidence, please. I don't know what next video I'll make, but that was one that was really sticking out in my head. Thanks.